Welcome to the cure for the meta algorithm flu. If you have any of these symptoms, you've caught the meta algorithm flu. We're going to dive into all of them in this presentation and most importantly, how to cure them. But the secret is to understand how you caught the flu to begin with, how to make the adjustments to cure yourself, and then how to keep an eye on things so you don't catch it again. I'm Scott DeGrossier, founder and CEO of Wicked Reports. I spent 25,000 hours on marketing attribution. So I feel like I can help you get over the flu. We've tracked over 10 billion in ad spend since 2015, partnering with Google and Meta, working with agencies and media buyers such as Tier 11, John Moran, and Neil Patel Digital. We've also worked with brands such as Tommy Chong's, JM Bullion, and Primal Harvest. So let's talk about cherry picking, because the meta algorithm isn't dumb. You give them a job, such as find me customers at a 3 ROAS. The algorithm then scans all the people scrolling through the feed that day and runs probability calculations. Let's say to hit your 3 ROAS, it notices a certain segment of users that it predicts is going to buy to allow you to hit that ROAS. It does that by crunching more numbers and finding a segment that might come close to hitting your goals. The problem could be that it's the bottom of your funnel retargeting of existing customers is who the algorithm identifies as most likely to close. They've already bought from you. Then when the algorithm is done targeting the easiest people, then it moves on to the next most easiest people that could be acquired for your business. And those are frequent website visitors that added to the cart or spend a lot of time on your site and did this as recently as possible. These are the same people you are emailing, texting, and who already have your website top of mind. So they are the most likely to buy. By the way, they might be most likely to buy on direct or brand search. This cherry picking contributes to symptom number 1. You set a ROAS target and Meta delivers, but doesn't spend enough to hit your sales targets. Cherry picking might show up when too much of your ad budget is on retargeting and not enough is on driving new eyeballs as measured by new visits from your ad spend. It's logical when you think about it. Not enough new visitors from your ads means there is a smaller and more fatigued audience that keeps getting hammered by your retargeting and direct response ads. You need fresh and new, not old and stale. The cure for symptom 1 is to increase your new visit percentage on Meta and actually on YouTube also. And then your retargeting audiences get revitalized because they have fresh eyes to retarget. You do this with 3 steps. You allocate more budget to top of funnel, ideally 50%. You check your exclusions when you're targeting top of the funnel. You need to exclude last 90 days web traffic, exclude your CRM list, and exclude your customer list. Now, even if you do that, meta exclusions sometimes get wonky or they automatically expand on you. So you want to exclude page view pixel fires because this covers up for the meta exclusion hallucination, where it thinks it's excluding repeat traffic, but it's actually not. So don't forget that one. Symptom 2 can strike almost anyone. You hit your ROAS target, you get excited, and you raise your budget. But then the ROAS tanks. I first heard about this from an expert media buyer at Primal Harvest. He found out he had to find the sweet spot of budget for a specific meta audience. Spend that amount, hit your goals. Go over it, performance suffers. The way to do this, to find the sweet spot, is to think like a financial day trader. For example, if your KPI is CAC, you want to set a CAC range for when you have to reduce the budget, a CAC range when you spend the same, business as usual, and a CAC when you can theoretically spend infinity. Now, as you hit those goals, raise your budget by 20%, then see where your KPI settles. If it enters the red zone after a full sales cycle, not the very next day, people, you got to wait a whole sales cycle, pull back the budget, and you know you found the sweet spot of how much budget that audience can spend and return enough money for you to keep spending the next day. This one is a killer tip. This can be challenging, however, if you're like Primal Harvest and you have 139 ad sets to check every day in Meta. They literally have that many, probably more now that I've taped this. The solution for that is to automate your sweet spot detection and maintenance. No one's going to scan 139 ad sets every day and run math. That's too much. So you set up alerts and monitors to let you know when to spend more or cut back as you move in or out of your sweet spot. Now, these sweet spots are going to be custom by your business KPIs and by your business sales cycle. Symptom number 3, we see all the time. Meta top of funnel showing lower return on ad spend compared to search and brand when you pull the in-platform metrics. And so the holder of the ad spend budget doesn't understand why more budget should go to top of the funnel prospecting. This issue has to do with what's called an attribution lookback window. Most ad platforms default to a 7-day lookback for attribution credit. That means that if the ad platform pixel receives a sale notification, it only considers the last week for giving credit to the sale. If your Meta top of funnel ad click was 8 days ago, it looks like it did not drive a sale. This can have significant impact on your account performance. Automated bid strategies will spend less due to less conversions. And humans seeing the lower ROAS will not want to spend more either. The cure is to use multi-channel attribution with longer attribution windows that can measure the true impact of top of funnel prospecting. Specifically, measure the revenue based on the time of click, not the time of sale. Time of sale measurement's great for when you're trying to be accurate and make sure that you're counting sales correctly. But when you're trying to measure top of the funnel, you want to measure the revenue based on the time of click and then also measure the future value of that click up to 90 days in the future. Looking here, you can see that Meta adds over $81K in future revenue long after the ad spend that drove the click. So this gives a much higher return on ad spend than it looks like originally when you're in the ad platform. It's much easier to make the case looking at this particular data from a client to spend more on Meta when you have a 3.5 ROAS versus a 2.38. Symptom 4, good old Google Analytics, reporting direct conversions. A direct conversion means someone typed your website directly into their browser and then went and bought. Unless you are a household brand or truly went viral, the only way a direct conversion could have happened is if the prospect heard about you from marketing. But if you only see the direct conversion and not the path to get there, a reported direct conversion is useless information. GA4 for this brand reports a ton of direct conversions and only 16K to Facebook. But actually, during the same time, Meta attributed over 215K to the bottom line. This is almost $200,000 miss. You can't afford this in any business. The cure actually is quite simple. Do not use Google Analytics 4 for marketing attribution. It's just not good enough. The final symptom is insidious, sneaky, and hard to detect. It's when your campaigns report a lot more conversions, but from repeat customers, and you have a sneaking suspicion that the customers actually converted via email or SMS. You'll see this happen when suddenly you have a big spike in Meta conversions from the usual amount you would receive. This is when media buyers that don't understand what is happening announce, the algorithm is being good to me. I'm going to up my spend today. But what is actually happening is you send a great email and people are buying and Meta's taking credit. This shows up when you see that repeat customers are outpacing new customers acquired on your paid channels. This is a bad recipe for growth. As I mentioned about cherry picking earlier on, the Meta algorithm isn't dumb. If it has to hit a ROAS goal, the easiest path to do that is to convince an already acquired customer to buy again. The algorithm also has no concept of lifetime value. If you have a dynamic shopping campaign, the algo will push whatever is going to hit its short-term daily goal, not the long-term goal of the business, which is net new customers that are more likely to generate high LTV. The cure for symptom 5, for your budget that is set aside for new customer acquisition is to make sure the audience is truly not a customer in the past. Sounds simple, it is, but you need to be very, very diligent in your audience exclusions. I hope I've been able to explain the 5 common painful campaign issues and how to cure them. If you found yourself nodding along, very aware of these symptoms, Wicked Reports can help make diagnosing and curing the meta algorithm flu a lot easier. We are specifically engineered to detect new visitors from ad clicks. We automatically segment new versus repeat customers against your actual customers. And we spent 10 years refining our top of funnel, prospecting, attribution models, and look back windows. The best part is we have a framework for data driven decision making using our Wicked Coach. The coach will scan your data every day, looking for your ad set sweet spots, detecting when Meta is trying to sneak repeat visitors and customers into your prospecting. And this frees up tons of time so you can focus on strategy and messaging, leaving the data driven decisions to the coach. To see how we do this, I got a link in the description of the video, but you can go to our interactive demos by clicking on that link or the CTA across this video. It's going to take you to Wicked Report/demos. You can pick the use case that you're most challenged with and see a walkthrough of how we handle it in our platform. So I appreciate your time, and I hope I was able to teach you something today. Take it easy.